Hi, my name's Justin. This is my New York apartment here in Chinatown. I make miso soup every morning. It's kind of my breakfast routine. It's a good way to be able to incorporate, various healthy ingredients into your diet. You can put anything into it as long as you just have the base of it. So the ingredients in miso soup are miso, dashi, I like to put some wakame. I also put sesame seed, but that's pretty much it. You can be creative with it. Some people put dried scallion. You could put just pretty much anything, but the base of it is dashi and miso. Miso soup is pretty easy. I like to use a scale because it keeps things consistent. It's basically 15 grams of miso, and then I use 2 grams of dashi, but this is actually miso soup. But let me show you kind of how to fancify this a little bit. Basically, you just try to get all of the dashi mixed up with the miso. Once I get it mixed up, you could kind of roll it into a little bowl. After that, you can get it and drop it in anything or surround it with anything, but I like to put it inside of my sesame. And then once it's at this point, you could drop it in some saran wrap, twist it on the top and then pop it in the freezer. But say that this is frozen, I pull it out of my freezer. Basically the way that I make it is I just put down a miso ball. I'll add some dried scallions because those are delicious. And then I have some wakame, which is just dried seaweed. These are really small and they get really big. So usually you only need 1 or 2 of them, otherwise your miso will taste really seaweedy. And then I set this to 75 degrees Celsius. So miso is a probiotic. It has a lot of active living ingredients in it, but if you make it too hot, then it'll kill that. And plus also 75 I've personally found is just the perfect drinking temperature. So I could pour it and it's immediately ready. So I pour 240 milliliters and then you just kind of stir it up. Forgot to mention, I like to put lion's mane and cordyceps in it. It's one of those things that they say that it wakes you up every morning, and then lion's mane is that thing that increases neural growth factor. I also like to put tremolo, which is good for your skin. And then there's a whole bunch of other things like reishi mushrooms and turkey tail mushrooms, which is cancer fighting agents. This is your miso. Ours is different from what you would buy at the store because store-bought miso is basically just miso and dashi and probably some MSG. I started making miso was basically a means to an end to incorporate more healthy ingredients as a part of a routine. So basically a couple of Christmases ago, I gave my mom some lion's mane supplements because it's good for brain health. And I remember last Christmas, I went and visited her and I was like, oh, so how's that supplement routine going? And it turns out she actually wasn't taking the supplements, and I asked her why, and she's like, oh, I take all of these other pills and things. I don't want to add another set of pills to my regimen. So I tried to think of different ways that we could incorporate things like lion's mane and cordyceps and other things to help my mom's mental health. Miso soup was a really good way to kind of incorporate a lot of different things. So then I learned how to make it, and then I gave the recipe to her, and then yeah. Oh.